and he's going to start giving you an overview of how you can use Scribble Maps in your next project.
Thanks, Jonathan. So that's Jonathan right there. He's the CEO and creator of Scribble Maps, and we've been in business for over 12 years. And when Jonathan created this program, it was just to draw on maps. Very, very simple and straightforward. We were kind of amazed the lack of programs that had the functionality just to draw on a map. A lot of things I'm going to show you right now in these tools and features are based directly off of user feedback. So we are always listening to our customers and our clients, and we are developing our tools not only based off of their needs, but also with ease of use in mind. The first map that we have right here, this is a pipeline inspection map. And you can see that this is making great use of our line measuring tools and also our text labels. This next map I'm going to show you right here is a map of the Ontario hydro lines. And here you can see we have great use of not only our line tools, but we have polygons and regions, but we also have filters as well applied to these individual lines. So you can see I can go, what is the subtype? Show me all the lines that are a hydro line. And then show me all the hydro lines that are currently operating as well. And then I can even go down to the accuracy of that data within 2 meters. So we can really use our filters to drill down the data. This map was created in less than 20 minutes, and that is just simply by importing a GeoJson file and then applying the filters from there. So very, very easy, very, very simple. If you have someone on your team who doesn't come from a technical or GIS background, you can hand them the keys to the car and not worry about them crashing it. That's how great and easy Scribble Maps is. Here's another one that we have. This is natural gas lines in the United States. Same kind of deal that you see right here. And again, we just imported, I believe for this one was a simple shape file. So those are the different files that you can import into Scribble Maps. We have a CSV, GeoJson, shapefile, and KML. Those are all the ones that you can import. If you're looking to export Scribble Maps and the maps that you've made and have it work with other programs, you can export it as a KML, GPX, shapefile, DXF, CSV, GeoJson, and then save as an image, and then PDF as well. Another type of map that we have right here, we have maps in terms of radius tools and customizable pins, but also embedding images and videos in pins. So I'll give you 2 examples of that. Right here is a real estate map of Toronto. I am able to customize all these different pins, show the walking distance within this property, 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk. And then when we click on a pin right here, you can see not only do I have images in there, I also have linked in a website that gives you a virtual tour inside. So if you can imagine, you're doing, say, like pipeline inspection, you place a pin down where repair might need to be done, and then you could have real live pictures and videos in there, and then you can also apply filters in there as well. Another example of that, you have this Olympic map, and this will just show you the video capabilities as well. You can upload a video on YouTube, put it in there, and you can see, you can show the work that needs to be done. There can also be a message there as well. This is a political map. So right now I have this based off of the political riding. I have the party leader, if they have a parliamentary role, gender, address of the constituency office, and population. But think about it in terms of, what would be unique to your work site. So we could have the zone, the type of work that is being done in that zone, the amount of active work sites that you have as well. So for instance, let's go, I want to see all the places that are the NDP here, where the leader is female, where the population is greater than 100,000. So we're really, really filtering down into that data. Anything that you put up in here as an overlay or in terms of a pin, you can apply an attribute to, and then you can also filter through those attributes using our filters. And I will show you another example and also show you an example of what this would look like on a spreadsheet. So a lot of these maps can be made within minutes because we're going to be importing that spreadsheet into our software. Here we have a sales and territory map. I have right here all these dots mapped out around the United States. If we click on one of the pins, I have the population, number of sales reps, the sales, and the quarter. And again, using our filters, and then I also have the radius tools here as well. I can go show me the sales that are over $1 million within the first quarter in the Midwest, and the sales reps are greater than 5. And I can see right here that information reflected. But also I have this pin as a main office within the Midwest, and I can see the radius within that main office as well. What this would look like on a spreadsheet would be this right here. So you can see that each column of a spreadsheet acts as an attribute within Scribble maps, which you can then filter through. So that's a lot of maps demonstrating or filtering capabilities. But we also have a lot of other things that you can do in terms of image overlays, which I think would be very, very relative to your industry. So say you have an old blueprint of a construction site and you want to digitize that, or you are doing a development. So you can see here, I'll turn this filter off. This is an empty lot of land that we're going to put a suburban development in. So I've just uploaded this image from my computer, and I was able to draw over top of it, add new proposed roads, add text labels to this as well. And then I can easily share this map with many people through a secure link or even a password or a non-secure link as well. Another example of this would be, tracing damage. So let's look at this map right here. This is a map of the Great Fire of 1904 in Toronto. I was able to draw over top of it, digitize it, and then I can switch to our satellite base map, and I can see exactly the buildings that sit on the place of where the Great Fire was. But, for your use case, this is helping you get underneath these buildings and discover where pipelines need to be fixed or made, or any kind of subsurface utilities. Another map that you can use using our image overlay examples is Street Festival map right here. And then we also have tons of other maps in terms of drawing capabilities as well. So thinking of buffer lines, route optimization, measuring, gathering all the data within that as well. If we were to, say, go back to our Ontario Hydro map right here, I have these attributes organized by different filters here on the right-hand side. And now I can do a more advanced analysis on this. So if I go into the gears operations and analysis, and I want to find the average length of a hydro line, I can quickly run this operation. I'll go select group, hydro line, and I want the unit in feet, and I want the average. And we will run that process. And you're seeing it's giving us the average length. If I want the total sum, I can do that as well. It's giving us the total sum. If I want to calculate the cost for each line as well, I can go into length cost per per unit here. So we'll go pick the hydro line again. For every feet, we're going to put maybe $60 per foot, get total cost, and then it's giving me massive number there, but very, very useful. We can also, with these advanced operations, gather total data that's within a polygon or within a region as well. So we do find that a lot of permaculture design courses, farmers, landscapers, they will use the advanced operations to help calculate what's within a given area, shape, or polygon there. I'm just going to demonstrate some of the measuring tools that we have. So we want to replace this stretch of road right here. I can take our ruler tool. I can draw that out right there. I can do another one right here. And then again, using those advanced operations, I can get the total length or the total cost. We can make this also as a polygon. We can also really fine tune the length and width and area. So if I go here to the edit measure tool in the top left-hand corner, underneath points, I go length, click on the pencil icon, and now I can put this into 1 mile. And you can see it is reflected as 1 mile right there. Also have a really cool feature that we designed. And again, this was designed based off of direct customer feedback, but the functionality of being able to cut donuts or holes within polygons as well. So I create a polygon around this shape, and then I'd like to put another polygon inside. You can see that I've created a donut. This is a great use case for filtering, again, within polygons, which we can also do if I were to put, say, markers in here. And then put markers in another area. I can move them from folder to folder. So if I would go to the top right-hand corner and I were to go to zone 1, and then we will call this area down here also zone 1. Also, remember, any of these shapes or lines can also be quickly exported to a GeoJson file. We can also extract any of these folders on the right-hand side into CSVs as well. I go here and I go to markers and polygon. I can select that polygon that I have, zone, move them to zone 1. And you can see the 5 markers are selected from there. All these markers can also be customized and changed into whatever you'd like. We have thousands of our own markers, but we also have markers that you can upload from your computer or from URL as well. Buffer line tool is a great tool. Again, say if you were going to be creating a road here, we can put this line down here. And then again, I'm going to adjust the size of this line as well. And I'm going to make this a 1 mile line. And then I can put a radius on top of that as well using our buffer line tool. Let's put 15 feet. Great buffer. We have our buffer line right here. That is 15 feet on either side of that line. And then you can link it up with the road right there. Another one that I want to show you as well is the total area. Again, if we want to measure, say, work sites here. Again, all these maps we can easily share with people. If I wanted to get the total area of these 2 playing fields, just go back here and I would go sum of areas and I'd pick that folder. And we could go square foot if we want. And then it's giving me the total area there as well. Going back to our image overlay examples as well, we do have the capability of loading GeoReferenced imagery. There's 2 ways to do it. We can go here to the base layers and I can go add or upload imagery. Choose a file from your computer. Or we can do it also from our image overlay tool. Here is an example that I loaded before. And you can see that it's calculated the latitude and longitude. I'm going to place that on a map. And if I change the base map, that you'll see it is accurately lining up with the rivers and creeks behind it as well. And if we were to draw over top of it, it of course would digitize. So we can do this with a GeoTIFF file. You can also see that we can do this with WMS and TMS as well. Also in the base layer panel, we can do heat maps, which are great for visuals. So if we go back to my sales map here, you can see that I have the heat map intensity based off of the value of the sale, but I can change that to many different colors, but also many different attributes as well. So any kind of data that you would like to extract from a spreadsheet or see on a spreadsheet, you can, any data on a spreadsheet that has an address, you can turn that into a map. And then again, use our filters to filter through that. And just to show you how our list import works, let's go back to our demo map here. And I am going to go to an example of a spreadsheet right here. And I'm going to go to the city, the country, and the population population being the attribute. You'll see here in the green that we have the lat and long included, and then without the green, you have no lat and long. So we'll use a geocode to map it, but it is pretty precise, and it is going to map it only based off of the city name and the country. So we'll put this here. Quickly go into import spreadsheet, paste. And it's going to say use 18 geocodes because 18 of these points right here don't have the lat and long. So we're going to go map them out. And you can see they have been quickly added to our map. When we click on the pin, Toronto, right here, it has the city, the country, and the population, which again, we can filter through. We can also export this back into a CSV, make changes, and re-import it. If we go into our data view right here, you can see the spreadsheet is live. And say I wanted to add another attribute. So let's go to Toronto right here. And I'm going to add a new column or a new attribute. And we will go, let's say type, we will call it. Add attribute. And then for Toronto, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say city. Okay. I could also go show on map if I'd like. Save that. I'm going to save this map. I'm now going to export it as a spreadsheet. So I'm going to go to menu. I'm going to go to save map, or sorry, save as list. I'm going to save down right there. And let's open up that file. So that's what it would look like updated. You can see it's also added some extra information as well. You have latitude, longitude, and your coordinates. That is a way that if you are going to be re-importing it into our software, it's not going to cost you another geocode to do so. You'll also see with the Scribble Maps ID that that is a unique ID that we've assigned to those coordinates, to that area. This is really great if you're going to be importing or exporting polygons or shapes. So you also see that we have the population. You see that new attribute that I created, and we can even add another attribute as well. We can put in area, and I'm just going to put a random number here. I'll just put 100,000. Put that in. I'm going to copy it, re-import it as we go right here, paste it. The folders or the columns are going to try to link up with the different columns you have in that spreadsheet. And you'll see it has my new one of area right there. I'm going to map it. It'll say 27 overlays changed because 27 overlays have that new column, that new attribute of area. And when I click on it, you can see it right there as well. So this is a way that we can import and export our CSV and spreadsheets. Let's maybe take a look at how we can import a GeoJSON file as well. As Jonathan was saying at the top of the call, we are able to handle large amounts of data. And when we move our map around, there's not too much lagging time when we are dealing with those large amounts of data as well. So I think you would be impressed if using our software, the capabilities that we have to manage large amounts of data compared to other platforms. So let's go into import a GeoJSON file. We can also import a shape file. So I'm going to import one from my computer here. And this is for all the counties in Ireland. When we click on that, you can see that they have the different types of information in there. And then we can thus edit these filters here. And then I can also change things like the opacity. Do that to multiple ones. Change the line style if I'd like as well. And then of course, change the base map. And then given the different attributes that we have in these GeoJSON files, we can filter with our data filtering tools. Let's take a look at even our radius tools as well. So let's go here, nice circle that we have. Some of you, I'm sure, are familiar with this area. This is Apple's headquarters right here. Let's put a pin right down in the middle. Okay. And I'm going to go call this location 1, save. Let's go into our operations and analysis, and let's go a circle from that marker. So pick that marker, location 1, and let's do a radius of 200 feet. Great, circle. There you go. You can see that it's created a 200-foot radius right there. I can then use the edit measure tool to adjust the area further. So we got 0.04. Let's do that to 0.08. There you go. And we can move that around. Let's try doing the same pin, but we're going to do this now with a travel time Isochrone. So we're going to go operations and analysis. And the circle is just kind of giving you a general idea of what that radius will be. But if we want something a little bit more detailed, we're going to try doing the travel time, distance, and Isochrone. Let's go right in the city center, Nathan Phillips Square, City Hall, right there. And let's see what the walking distance would be in around Nathan Phillips. And let's switch the base map up to the road map. Well, it's a little too noisy for me right now as well. I don't really want to know where the TELUS and Canadian Tire is. Sometimes I do, but not in this instance. So we're going to change that. We're going to take away the points of interest, clean it up a bit. There we go. I also like making the base map black and white. That makes things pop a little bit more. So there we go. And now I'm going to put this in its own folder again, taking my own advice of making sure that things are labeled, but also have their own folder. I'm just going to call it travel time. I can even color code it too on the left-hand side. That way it's easier to find. So I'm going to go and run the travel time Isochrone from that point, selecting that marker. And I am going to do a 15-minute walk from Nathan Phillips Square. And I'm going to make the line color black, make it bold as well. And then I'm going to do the fill color as orange right here. So I'm going to create that distance. And you can see that is basically a 5-minute walk of Nathan Phillips Square. So what we have with this, a general use case, a lot of dispatch logistic companies, they will use this to show where their range is. Again, for subsurface mapping or pipeline, if you want to show where a danger zone could be in terms of, say, like a gas leak, if you need to evacuate something, the coverage of the pipelines where they're going to be going to, this would be a great tool for that. And with the donut cut option that I showed you earlier, you can do multiple layers. Speaking of cutting, let's go back to our radius tool as well, Apple Park. And let's create that circle one more time. We're just going to do it manually. Going to move it right there. And now let's find out different ways of how we can cut this shape up. We can do it a couple different ways. I can use this split line right here. And you can see that split it right in half. Another way I can do that is I can draw a line right across from it as well. So we can go right here, and then I can go edit, cut based off of that line. And we've cut it there as well. Then we can do that with the eraser tool as well. I can cross like that and make it into a semicircle. So say you have a lot of points mapped up and you want to find the center of the majority of those points. In fact, let me just show you this map that is completed. We have the center of mass and center of weight option as well. And by running the centroid or center of mass option, you can see one that has the exact center of all the points, one that has the center based on the majority of the points, and then the average based on the exact center and the majority of the points as well. Do some basic line shapes here. And we can do a simple drawing tool, but there's also some cool things that we can do with this drawing tool as well. And that is this road snap feature. Again, a lot of these features that you see here were based off a customer request. So instead of simply dragging the pencil over top of these roads here and having trial and error, we can put the road snap feature on and get a more accurate snap. I can turn the road snap off now, and I want to merge these two lines as well. So I'll just use the edit measure tool to do so. And I'm going to go from length, I'm going to go back to points. Connect, it's going to go merge lines. Yes, merge lines right there. Let's change the line style. Let's make it a little bit thicker. Let's make it a little bit more of a dotted line here. Click on it right there, and we've changed it. We can also create a legend and filter these shapes and polygons based off of our legend as well. So let's do it with this line right here. I'm going to, and then once I show you this, I'm also going to show you another cool feature that you can do with the legend. So let's draw a line. We're going to make it green because St. Patrick's Day was just the other day. Draw it across right here. And I'm going to go to create legend, allow toggle. I'm going to go line 1. We'll call it line 2 actually, add. Yes, that's what I want it to do. So we can toggle on and off. Let's put a different color line as well and a different style of line as well. We're going to go red to make that the dotted line. And we're going to drag that across. And we're going to go to our legend. It is there. This one, line 1, add. And that one toggles off. Now that we have this legend created and we can toggle on and off with the different points, what we can try doing is using our legend as a template. So I will click on this one right here. There we go. I got my green line. Click on this one. I can quickly access my red line, go back and forth. So this is a great way of creating multiple lines and shapes over and over again without having to repeat the functionality. And Jonathan, yeah, you have something to say?
Yeah, so I'm gonna hop in and I'm gonna take a little bit from Mike and I'm gonna talk about some more of the technical stuff. So this is gonna be a bit more technical for those who are know JavaScript or coding. So the interesting part about our operations and analysis panel is it's all built using really basic JavaScript. So everything you see in here is essentially a plugin. So if you click this button at the bottom, it says create manage plugins. This is all our pre-baked plugins, and you can then go to user and create your own. So for instance, create circle at markers. This is the plugin. And then if you click this little code tab in the bottom right, you can actually see all the code that went into building this. And it's essentially very quickly, you have your UI component, which actually defines what UI elements you want to make up the plugin. Then you have a run that executes when you click this create circle button. And then you have some information. So using this kind of plugin system, you can build your own plugins that interfaces with our API. And you can pretty much do almost everything. So under API reference, if you go here, this will give you information to access pretty much everything that Scribble Maps can do in the UI. This is expanding all the time. In addition to that, we also have what we call Scribble Maps Connect, which is an OAuth 2 connector. So if you want to pull data out from Scribble Maps, you have a user, you can do that really easily using this connector. In the near future, I'd say in the next few months, currently this is one way it's pulling. It might actually be in the next couple of weeks, you'll also then be able to push data back into a map. So if you have a real-time data source, you'll be able to update the map on Scribble Maps. So then the next time it's loaded, you can just grab that data, update it, add your annotations. So this is really a powerful tool if you have a technical team or programmers and you want to build something a bit more custom. In addition, you can also use those JavaScript plugins that I showed earlier to essentially go through the data on the map, grab it, save it as whatever format you want, and then push it out via a post or a GET request to whatever service you want. So that's another method you can use for plugins. In addition, Mike didn't quite get to it. If in base layers in the bottom right, you can add a heat map, you can add map crops, but you can also add a TMS layer. So if you're using a data provider like Nearmap or with some other ones like Drone Mapper, and they have a TMS XYZ interface, you'll be able to use that. We also have WMS. We are missing the current newest form of the map server from ArcGIS, but that's coming. We're building it. And so you'll also be able to pull those ArcGIS map server, the recent ones, data into here, or you can use the older WMS style as well. And I'm going to hand it quickly back off to Mike so that he can demonstrate Scribble Maps team as well.
Yeah, so team is a great way to have multiple people working on the same map, sharing maps, and also having your maps be more secure. So if you were to open up your team dashboard, you're going to be prompted to put in your name of your team and your email, go through that process, and then it will bring you to this dashboard. Here, you are able to purchase seats, so you can buy a Pro Basic seat, a Pro Business seat, and a Viewer seat. And I will go over the pricing momentarily. then you can also choose between a monthly and a yearly subscription. If you sign up, say, to a yearly account and then decide halfway through that you'd want to switch to the monthly subscription, our Scribble Maps team dashboard will figure out the cost and prorate it accordingly or show the balance owing. So let's say we purchased our Pro Basic seat, we got a Pro Business seat, and then we got the viewer seat right here, which is $7 per month. What a viewer seat is eliminating the need for link sharing. So instead of having me send you a map and either worrying about putting a password on it, I can have everything live within this team dashboard. So I purchased my seats. I go back to users right here. It will tell me what I have available. I got 0 out of 1 right now. That means all my seats are in use. I would add my user's email here. I would assign them a product, and then I can make them an owner, an admin, editor, and viewer. And then at the bottom here, it will show you who is on your team, what product they have, and what roles they have, and whether they're registered or not. Say you have someone on your team, they move on to different things, the maps will stay with you. Every map that is created and saved to the team, you can find through here under the map setting. And it's just taking a second because we have loads of maps right here with our team. And then you can delete those maps, you can edit the permissions, and you can load those maps as well. So if someone had a viewer seats, you don't want to do any link sharing, you would share a map with them through the viewer seat. So while we're going on about purchasing seats, why don't I just tell you a little bit about our packages. So we have 3 different products right here. We have the free version, the Pro Basic version, and the Pro Business version. So the big differences between the Pro Basic and the Pro Business: underneath the Pro Basic, you have 500 geocodes per month. With Pro Business, like I said, that's catered more to bigger businesses, but also logistic companies, delivery companies. So we've included 5,000 geocodes per month. If you hit your geocode limit within a month, there's always an option to buy extra geocodes. So if we go back to this demo map here, I go to import spreadsheet. So where it says import data map, I go buy more, and I can buy more geocodes with a minimum order of being 100. The more geocodes you buy, the more of a discount structure you get. Should also be note, going back to team, going back to pricing, if you are buying multiple seats, there are discount structures applied at certain thresholds. Usually about 10 seats and up is when you start to hit the different discounts, but that can also be discussed with us. Going back to our pricing page right here. So Pro Basic, 500 geocodes per month. Pro Business, 5,000 geocodes per month. Remember too, once you import a spreadsheet on that map, you won't have to use another geocode for that map that you've imported the spreadsheet in. So you can also export the spreadsheet, like I showed you earlier in the demo, into a CSV that will have the latitude and longitude, and that will create a geocode for you if you wanted to use it in a different map.
Something a lot of our competitors do that we don't do is they kind of limit the amount of overlays on a map. And you'll go to their pricing and they'll say, oh, this many points. We don't do that. In fact, we've tested on one map, we've had almost 300,000 markers. So sometimes there's a confusion with geocoding. Geocoding only takes effect if you are converting an address into a latitude, longitude. If your map is already geocoded, you're not going to, as long as you have like the Pro Basic, you're not going to have to use a geocode credit to get that data into the map. So if you have, say, a list of 10,000 points and you're using it and they're already, you already have the latitude, longitude, you can just import that whole data set. We have no restrictions on it. The only time geocodes come into play is really when you're converting that address into a coordinate. So I think it's an important distinction because a lot of our competitors do, for whatever reason, put limits on how many like actual overlays or annotations you can have on a map, and we don't have such restrictions.
That's a great point, and that does come up all the time. People will ask, once I plot out a geocode on my map, do I have to replot it every time? Do those geocodes have to be used every month? Again, once it's plotted, you're not going to be charged again. Those geocodes renew every month. So again, 500 for Pro Basic, 5,000 for Pro Business. They do not carry over. That is important to note, and you are unfortunately not able to use them all in the beginning. So we've had this question before: can I use all the geocodes that are allotted to me for the whole year and use them in the first month? It is per month. They do renew, they do refresh. The other big things that we have between the Pro Basic and the Pro Business is if you are going to be printing images. So we will have many different use cases where people will even print them in court of law as well. I've seen lawyers use them for trials, but more relative to your use case. You're going to be working out on the field. You might want to print out a blueprint or show it off in a meeting. So you can print it off in many, many different formats, TIFF file, also JPEG. And the image resolution between a Pro Basic and Pro Business is 2,500 pixels. Pro Business is 11,000 by 11,000. The other thing that we have, and this is just more of an advanced breakdown of what we have between the free Pro Basic and Pro Business. As Jonathan was saying off the top, there is no limit on the overlays that you can have. There's no limit on the pins that you can put in there as well. There's no limit on the number of maps that you can share. And you can see that right here. I would encourage to everyone that you can try our free version. You can see our free version is pretty robust in terms of our drawing tools and our annotations. Pro Basic and Pro Business can all be tried out for 3 days for free, no risk. And that would probably be the best thing to see if it is suited for you. But the other big feature that we have with the Pro Business is route optimization. So if you're doing delivery or logistics, or more importantly, for your use case, it's subsurface mapping, you have a lot of locations that you need to go to with your team during a day to inspect. Maybe it's a gas line, maybe it's a leak, a repair. You would plot that out with the CSV import function that I showed you, and then you'd use our route optimization to see which place to go to first, second, third, fourth in the fastest time possible. So I will show you that right now. We're starting at this factory, or that could be your headquarters right there, and that's where we're going to be ending. And then I had all these points plotted, and then I ran the route optimization, and it is telling me which place I need to go to first, second, third, fourth. You can see that on the side that the whole route will take me 53 minutes. And then again, I can export this route to the CSV and spreadsheet and share that with my team. I can also share this map online, send it to their phone. They can open up their phone with their GPS. If we were to click on this pin, we'd say get directions here. This is going to be quite a trip for one inspection because I am in Toronto, but it is linking up with my location services right there. If you do get the Pro Business plan and you get the 1-year subscription, we do offer one-on-one onboarding services such as I am doing with you right now, where you can ask me a question. If you go with the Pro Business monthly plan or you go with the Pro Basic plan, we do have online manuals, we have YouTube tutorials, and you can buy per use onboarding services. You would just contact me and then we can set up a price for that. And there's also package onboarding services that we can offer you as well. So you can always contact me, tell me how many people are going to be on your team, how much onboarding sessions you're looking to do, and we can discuss that further. But the Pro Business yearly plan does come with unlimited for the year. It also has the Enterprise SLA. So in the unlikely event of our software were to go down, there is the insurance that would be giving you a prorated cost back. In terms of our servers and our security, our data is stored in 2 servers, one on the East Coast of the United States, another one on the West Coast of the United States. We are in the process of looking to move one of our servers into Canada, so we'll have possibly one in the States and one in Canada as well. We don't have access to any of that data. It is very, very secure.
I'd say, I'll just quickly touch on this because you're bringing up security. So when you're saving a map, we have the three options. And one of those options is encrypted. So that uses uses AES encryption. And that's a no knowledge encryption. So it works just like 1Password or LastPass. So we have, when it's saved like that on our servers, we can't access the data at all. Like it comes with some caveats. So if you save it like that, because we can't access it, you can't use the REST services to pull it out as like GeoJson or KML from a REST location because the data is encrypted. But it is a no knowledge encryption. The other way you can also save in terms of security, this is somewhat unique to Scroll Maps, is under the menu, there's save map, load map, and then there's save to computer and load to computer. So this works just like a desktop application. So this will actually save the map data directly to your computer. And when you do that, you can also select an encryption option if you want, which would require a password. If you're working with large data sets and you don't necessarily need our cloud features, we highly recommend that because the saving and loading is significantly faster. Whereas if you're saving and loading to the cloud, obviously you have to reach out and it'll take some time. But if you're saving the file directly to your computer and you're loading from your computer, it'll be very quick, especially if you're working with hundreds of megs of data or more. It will just be much faster if you save and load from your computer. And that's also important if you're working in some kind of industry or where there is some kind of confidentiality clause, or like especially health insurance, but I imagine there's some in infrastructure as well, where you're working on pipelines that really you don't want the data touching the cloud at all. We highly recommend using, at the very least, the encrypted option. So when you're saving to us, it's the no knowledge encryption, or bypassing us directly and using the save computer or and load from computer options.
In terms of saving maps, as Jonathan was saying, why don't we go over saving and sharing, what it kind of would look like if we were to pass this on to maybe a colleague or coworker or someone that you're going to be presenting. So why don't I go back to my sales and territory map right here. Going to go to menu, save map. I just have it as unlisted right here. And when I save it, there's a few different options. I can give someone the share link, which I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. We also have the edit link. I can send that to someone else on my team. They can open it up. They can edit. I have the image link. So if you want to hyperlink the map into a document and it has an image URL, the image link would do that. We can embed this on your website and we can really get creative and do the different types of capabilities that people will be able to filter on and off. This is what it would look like if we were to embed that on your website. And again, as you saw with the menu before, we can adjust what or what not we want people to see. And then let's go to that sharing link. So saving it again, going to take this edit link, and what I can actually do is I can put this in the chat right now so you can open it, you can see it for yourself, not the edit link, sorry, the share link. And then if you are not at a computer or maybe you don't want to open it up, I will open up in incognito mode so you can see what someone on the other end would see. So I'm just going to drop this map in the chat right now. And this is what the end user would see on their end. You can see that we have the filters on the left-hand side, the folders, the heat map, and the legend. And again, just at the top of the call, I did the demo right here of sales greater than $1 million, first quarter, region in the Midwest, reps are greater than 5, and that information is reflected here.
Like, did we go over, there's so much, did we go over filter creation and geo-filtering?
That's a great point. As much as I've been going on about the filters and the points, I didn't really show you how you can create that, right? How to add a marker, but then add an attribute to that marker, add an attribute to a polygon and a region as well, and then filter through that as well. So let's go, one of my favorite attractions of all time, CN Tower. Okay, add a marker. Let's just change this to the roadmap here. And let's put a polygon around here as well, around the entertainment district. Okay, CN Tower, I'm gonna lock this polygon real quick so I can edit this marker. And then I right click on it and I'm gonna go to edit attributes. And Jonathan, why don't you give me an attribute that you would like to see and filter through?
Let's just maybe call it type, and we can call it maybe attraction.
Sure. So we will, and then let's just do 2 more attributes as well. We're going to go cost, and I'm going to go, $10. And I'm going to actually change that to currency, and I'm going to put that as Canadian dollars right there. Save, and then I'm going to go maybe date. We could put the attribute for the CN Tower. I click on it. It has type, attraction, cost, $10. Let's put another pin down there as well, just to switch it up. And we are going to go call this one just coffee shop. And we are going to edit on that as well. Edit attributes, and we're going to go type shop. And cost, we'll put $5. Save. And let's do our polygons as well. We're going to do one more area. And with this, we're going to edit attributes, and we're going to go neighborhood, community, cost. We're not going to put a cost with that. And I'm going to unlock this one right here. I'm going to go to edit attributes, and I'm going to go type, and we will go business zone. Okay, so we have a couple of different attributes assigned to pins and polygons, and we're going to go in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to go add filters. So I'm going to go attribute equals. I'm going to go the type is, and then we're going to go to unique attraction, save. And when I apply that, you can see just the CN tower is reflected. If we do it again, we'll add another one. We can go type is, we'll go value, unique, and this time we're going to go to business zone. And I'm going to click that, and you can see the polygon is just reflected. We can also filter within a polygon or shape as well. So let's do that. We're going to go here, and we're going to add a filter. I'm going to go within a shape. So we're going to go is inside, and we're going to select that shape that I have right here. And there you go. You can see the pins that are just within the Little Italy region. And if I want to keep that overlay as well, I will lock it, and we will go inside Little Italy right there.
I don't think we touched on it. If you happen to have very large either drone imagery or satellite imagery under base layers, you can upload that imagery. So even if it's 500 megs or 1 or 2 gig, and we will cut it up and slice it into tiles, and then it will be an XYZ URL, but you can actually then add it directly to the map for quick rendering. That's usually preferable with the image overlay tool. It does support GeoTIFF, a GeoReferenced GeoTIFF, so we'll figure out where to place it. That's great for probably anything under 20 or 30 megabytes. Once you start getting to like the 50, 100 megabytes of image data, since it's the web, you probably want to use that upload imagery functionality, just because everything will be a lot more snappier and load much quicker. Right now, if you're trying to add a DXF, you're probably going to have to convert it to, say, a GeoJson or KML. But we are right now in the process of improving DXF import to get it as close as possible to what's in the CAD program, so you don't have to do that conversion. We're pretty excited about that, because once we have that, you'll be able to pretty much put your blueprints interactively directly on the map. So the timeline for that is hopefully in the next 1 to 3 months. We should have the first direct DXF import. For the time being, you can just use like a GeoJson, KML, or shape converter. But hopefully in the next 1 to 3 months, you'll be able to import the DXF directly to the map.
Okay. So our customers, we are a global company as well. And it amazes me every day the different use cases and the different people who use Scribble maps for so many different use cases. I don't believe I've ever been on a demo that has been replicated. Every demo I go on is unique and different. We have everyone from the TTC here in Toronto using us, to Pizza also here in Toronto, to NHS in the United Kingdom, government agencies, and we really hope that we can add you and your business to that growing list of partners.